welcome to my channel. My name is Franca, and I'm glad you're here because today we're reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Everyone that I've read this book has nothing but good things to say about this book, so I'm excited to read it. I know it's out in I think the UK, New Zealand, and somewhere else already, but it comes out on August 1st in Canada, so I'm gonna try and finish this before it is released. Today is July 28th. These books look pretty short, so hopefully they're a quick read. With that said, let's get right into the book. Hello guys, it is the next morning. I'm about 138 pages into this book. I think it's interesting the way it's being told. Obviously it's from the perspective of someone who wasn't connected to the case. She's reporting on a possible offing about 2 kids in her town, and we're learning details and people are becoming suspects. I think it's interesting because she's doing it for a capstone project, her capstone interview she does in like her real life, and they're starting to like connect. Someone's trying to prevent her from figuring out if the girl who was offed, supposedly, still haven't found her body, whatever. Her name is Andy Bell. And they think her boyfriend at the time, Sal, offed her because then he committed and her phone and her blood were found on him. Everyone in the town thinks Sal did it. Case closed. And now when Pip is going into this case 5 years later, she's like, hey, like, I don't think he did it, which is why she started the case in the first place. So we're gonna keep reading and find out what happens. You probably cannot tell at all that this is like 2 days in the present. I'm very close to finishing. I think I have like 60 pages left. I'm on page 220. If you've read this book, you probably know what page I'm talking about. I just learned the most baffling information about this book. I am absolutely loving it so far. It's not one of those like hard to get into books, and I like the way it's like her capstone project. So not only do you learn through her life, you learn through her research. It kind of feels like you're solving it with her. Those are all my thoughts so far. I don't want to spoil this in case anyone hasn't read it. And I told my coworker I was reading this, and she's reading another book by Holly Jackson. I forgot what it was called, but she said it was really good. So maybe I will have to check out more of Holly Jackson's books, and I'll see you guys when I finish this book. Hello guys, I'm on page 364, and we've already figured out who offed Sal, but I was like, okay, case not closed, because what the heck happened to Andy? And I think I know who did it. If you don't want to listen to my theory, skip ahead to this time, because it might be a spoiler, possibly. It might not. Whatever, we'll see. My theory is that Andy's sister Becca offed her in the beginning when Pip was talking to, I don't remember the girls' names, but like Andy's old friends from that time. They said like, oh, when she asked her about like how her and her sister were together, they were like, oh, like Becca wanted to be like Andy, and she would like take her clothes, and then Andy would say, oh, now you've stressed them out, blah blah blah. So I think Becca did it. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Okay guys, I just finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I am ecstatic that what I thought happened. I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It had me on my toes the entire time. But now that the case is solved, I thought maybe the first and second book would be her solving the case. So I have no idea what the next book, Good Girl, Bad Blood, is supposed to be about. I have no idea. I could easily figure it out by reading the back, but I refuse to read the back of books. So we're gonna start this book and see what happens. guys, I finished Good Girl, Bad Blood and As Good as Dead off camera. I did it because I wasn't finishing these fast enough, and it was past August 1st, and I was like, I really want to watch this series. Like, I'm so excited. Also, by the way, we're gonna breeze through this. These were both 5-star books. We'll get into them in a second. But I was like, oh my god, like, it's past August 1st. I really want to watch this show. Like, it just came out on Netflix in Canada, and I was so hyped to watch it. Put a pin in that. We'll get to the show in a second because I watched it. First off, Good Girl, Bad Blood. This was probably my least favorite out of the three, just because it like kinda tied together with the other books, but not enough. Also, I don't understand how everyone is like obsessed with Ravi's character. I don't know if that's how you say it, Ravi. I don't know. I watched the show and they all said his name differently, and I was like, I don't know which one is the right pronunciation of it. So forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, I don't know why everyone's like obsessed with him as like a book boyfriend. Everyone was like, Sarge is such a cute nickname. And every time he said it, I was like, okay, we've overused it. Also, he is terrible at nicknames. The other nicknames he called her, I was like, if my boyfriend called me that, he would not have a girlfriend after. Maybe that's just me. 5 stars, just because I like solving the mystery. This was definitely my least favorite out of the three. And then we have As Good as Dead, also 5 star. This book was so good, but I loved how this tied together. It took pieces and parts from the first book and the second book and like threw it in one book. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole different like plot, but like they used things from the other book that unraveled even further in this book. Pip's character change, absolutely crazy. I wasn't expecting that, but then it happened and I was like, oh my god, like what is going on? But definitely my favorite out of the three. But I feel like the other 2 books were necessary as like character development for like this big change, like this big thing that happens in this book. Like I feel like those were necessary so you can be like, oh, I really like Pip, and then in this book you're like, do I? Do I like her? That is on the books. Sorry I read them off camera. I just was reading so slowly and I just needed to like focus. Now onto the series, because I have some bones to pick with this series, because I was so excited to watch it. I finished As Good as Dead and I was like, okay, let's watch the series. My first issue, the series was 6 episodes long. There's like 55 chapters. I feel like they could have made a longer series and like maybe 1 to 3 chapters or 1 to 2 chapters could have been in every episode and made like a longer series and actually included every single thing that happened in the book. I don't know about you guys, but when I read a book and I watch the movie and there's a movie adaptation of the book, if I like the book, I just want to see the exact things that played out the book. I just want to see it brought to life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anything to be changed. I just want it to be fully brought to life. And spoiler alert, they did not do that. And the first thing that I noticed that really like irked me, like it gave me the ick, right? I was sitting there watching the first episode and I was like, why are they talking like that? Right? And then I thought they were just like playing around. I was like, oh, that's just their voices. And then I realized they were in like Britain or England or something, right? And I was so freaking confused because it was like, I read the book and I was like, oh, I thought they were in New York. I was like, I know some of those places. They're in like upstate New York. They're like in a small suburb somewhere in upstate New York, right? Wrong. The series took place somewhere in England or Britain. They was like British. They were all speaking British. And I was like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? Because I saw the map and like in my head, I'll put a picture up. This is what I expected the neighborhood to like kind of look like, right? It did not. I saw like the old English houses and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not what I imagined at all. What the heck? And second thing, I thought Barney was like a golden doodle or a golden retriever. I'm pretty sure it was a golden retriever, but like a golden something. And that dog they used as Barney did not cut it. That's such a weird thing to be like picky about. But like the third issue I had was in the series, Nat was friends with Andy. And I was like, girl, no. Andy and Nat hated each other. I was like, what are they doing being friends? Threw me for a loop because it was like, oh my god, like, did they change so many things about this that like it's not even gonna resemble like the books? You know what I mean? Because sometimes I watch a series and I've read the books, and I'm like, I literally have no idea how this is the same as the book I just read. Because I feel like if you are doing like a movie adaptation, like if you change so many things, literally just make a new movie. Like call it something else because it is not the same thing as the book. And like you can't give it that title. Fourth thing literally has nothing to do with anything. Other than they had so many shots of Pip's car like driving on the road from like high above or like to the side or whatever. Why are those roads so damn small? Because I know 2 cars are definitely not fitting on that because Pip's car could barely fit on that. So that has nothing to do with anything. This isn't like a very thorough review. This is just things that annoyed me. Fifth thing, tell me why. A big part of these movies was the calamity parties, because like this is where SHIT went down, whatever. Everyone had their like teenage dirtbag moments, whatever you want to call it. I was trying to think of a better word, but that's the literally only thing in my head. And we can thank TikTok for that. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the calamity parties. Tell me why the calamity parties happened in a cave in the TV series. Like, what? I was so thrown off guard. I was like, why is she in a cave? Is she a bat now? Are they gonna turn into vampires? Like, why the heck are they in a cave? Calamity parties were literally just freaking house parties. Who is gonna go party in a cave? I wanna know what was the thought process because I hated it. And whoever thought of that change literally needs to be fired. I don't know what number we're on, but tell me why Dan Da Silva is literally stalking Pip the entire TV series. In the book, he hates her guts because she keeps saying, like, I think it was you, I think it was you, did you do this, did you do this, blah, 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 blah. She didn't suspect him once in the TV series, or maybe I'm just forgetting because I don't really care that much, but they made him so creepy. Oh, this is a side note, it has nothing to do with the show or the books, but I hate the way they dressed them. I don't know what they were going for, but I mean, if you like it, ignore everything I just said. And my biggest critique while I was watching this, because I had no idea what was going on the whole time, I was like, that didn't happen, why is it happening like that? Most of the things that were in the book, like the main plot points, stayed the same. They just didn't play out like they did in the book. I feel like they're like, okay, so like this person was the killer. So let's change everything about that happened to the lead up and the evidence and like what they find. But like he's still the killer. You know, you got what I mean? Like they kept the important parts, but then the rest of it just like made no sense because I was like, she didn't do that. That's not how it happened, sir. I felt like a backseat driver, but like for a book in a movie. I don't know. Is there a word for that? I don't know how to explain it. I think it's fair to say I hated the TV series. One thing about me in TV series, or even books. Books, if I don't like it, I'll still read it. Because I already started, I might as well finish. What if it gets good at the end, right? It didn't. It didn't. I still watched it though. A star rating, it'd probably be a 1 or a 2. Like it was so bad. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like and comment down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment and I will see you guys tomorrow.